Welcome to Parry Style Poem. I hope all the children are enjoying and learning from my summaries. Today in the series of summaries of the lessons and poems, I have a new poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. Poem at a glance. The poem A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris is super punch in the humanity because it presents the reality how human have created problems for the tigers. In this poem, the poet tries to depict the mental condition of a caged tiger. He compares the life of a tiger in the zoo with its life in its natural habitat. The poet conveys an important message that the wild animals should be in their natural habitat. In the poem, he heightens the contrast between freedom and captivity. In the captivity, he is full of rage and trouble. He is ferocious and fierce animal. He, very impressively, shows us how love for freedom is the natural instinct of every living being. It tells us that human progress should not be at the cost of destroying the natural habitat of animals. It shows the importance of freedom for all. Central idea of A Tiger in the Zoo. The poem has 5 stanzas of 4 lines each. The rhyme scheme is a It has 2 distinct settings. First is in the human-made, and the other one is natural one. The personification in the poem is very impressive as it makes feel the tiger as one of us. The other central idea is freedom and its importance. The poem focuses on the 2 surroundings of the tiger. A Tiger in the Zoo. Stanza 1. In this stanza, the poet describes the appearance of the tiger in the zoo and its daily movements. The tiger moves up and down of his cage. The stripes on its body can be distinguished even soon from far as they are darker in color than the rest of its coat. The tiger walks without making a sound because of his smooth velvet pads. The tiger is able to walk only few stops because of the length of its cage. It covers that distance in a few mere steps. The tiger is full of anger, but it is suppressed because he knows that he is helpless here. In the first stanza, metaphor is used, pads of velvet. Imagery is present all over the poem. Consonants and assonants make it sound better. Oxymoron, quiet rage, intensifies the feeling of the tiger. A Tiger in the Zoo. Stanza 2. In this stanza, the poet is filled with pity while looking at the imprisoned tiger. He tells that he would have hid himself behind the long grass near the water bodies in his natural habitat. He would be lying in the forest. The poet imagines another life for the tiger other than the zoo. He says that it should have been in his natural habitat, that is in the wild forest. Under normal conditions, this tiger would have been moving in the darkness, unlike here in the clear daylights, and would catch a deer. His freedom is constrained in the zoo. The poet tells that his life is more alive in the natural habitat. The second stanza becomes more lively with alliteration and imagery. The personification works very nicely here, presenting his natural habitat. Stanza 3. In this stanza, the poet says that even though he would prefer the tiger to live in the wild, it would not lose all touch with human civilization. He imagines in case the tiger failed to find any prey in his natural habitat, he would be growling at the edge of jungle near some village. He would be showing his white fangs and claws while moving here and there with the intention of scaring all the inhabitants of that village. He would thus become a cause of terror for the villagers. The poet here gives a hint that if we destroy the natural habitat of tigers, they will be forced to turn to our towns and villages to find their food. He would terrorize the people living in the villages. The use of onomatopoeia, snarling, the fierce picture of the tiger is created. Use of consonants, his, fangs, claws, and assonants, bearing, his, white, add tone to the stanza. Stanza 4. In this stanza, the poet stops imaging the tiger's alternate life and returns to its real one. The poet sees the tiger caged in a small concrete cell in the zoo like a prisoner in the jail. In spite of all his strength, it now lies imprisoned behind the bars. Its ferociousness is also locked behind the bars. The tiger pays no attention to the visitors who come to see him every day at the zoo. He doesn't think of terrorizing the humans. Instead of this, the tiger very slowly and silently moves up and down along the length of the cage without any disturbance in the form of human intervention. Use of alliteration in behind bars intensifies the fact of the present habitat of the tiger. In this stanza the tone is little sad. Concrete cell is a powerful imagery. I think he lost all hope for his freedom. Stanza 5. In this stanza, the poet describes the daily routine of the tiger. The tiger does not rest during the day because of the visitors. Even at night, it stays awake till the very last voice of the zookeeper locking up and going home can be heard. After that too, he does not go to sleep. All night, it remains disturbed due to the noise of the patrolling cars. These cars are used for the safety of the animals, but ironically they disturb the animals. He keeps staring at the brilliant stars with his brilliant eyes. As he is helpless in the cage, he stares. Perhaps, he is asking heaven why he has been imprisoned there. It is the last stanza and has completely negative side and tone. Main points of a tiger in the zoo. The tiger is not in its natural habitat, i.e. jungle. The denizen of the forest is confined in the cage. He is no more free to roam but walks within the cell. He has dark spots on his skin and velvety soft feet. He is angry as he has less space to walk in the zoo. He waits for his good days in his original habitat to come. As he cannot do anything, he roams and ignores the visitors. His fierceness, bravery, freedom is snatched away by humans. Through this poem, the poet urges us to be docile with them. I thank all the visible and invisible hands to make Parry-style poem successful. I hope that my dear children are benefited because of my channel.